What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at Defragmented by Glass Knuckle Games. This is, I'm happy to report, the first decent thing I've played in a few weeks, actually, to be fair. I'll tell you for nothing right now, I'm quite enjoying this one. It is a top-down shooter with a very cyberpunk kind of thing going on. And it borrows a few elements from some other things in there as well. Definitely some Borderlands style stuff going in there. I can definitely see the Borderlands inspiration behind this. There's some visual novel stuff going on. Strange mishmash of things, but it all kind of works together in quite a nice little way, actually. I'm kind of digging it. So let us hop on into this cyberpunk world, as I think is the lore with cyberpunk genre stuff. The entire game menu kind of has to be done through this old-school computer terminal kind of interface. So we got the top three options are actually the save games, and then settings is there. It's not immediately obvious because I've used all the save games, but there are three classes in the game that I've kind of delved into to have at least a little bit of a look at them. Railrunner's the one I've been going with. That's kind of a lightweight evasion kind of class, fast moving, dodges bullets and things. Cyberzerker is your heavyweight tanky class, takes a lot of damage, deals a lot of damage. And Ascended has got a few more, I would almost say maybe slightly more interesting mechanics. They've all got their own unique things going on. But Ascended, I don't know, it had something where you like collecting points by using abilities and then redeeming those points in for more effective use of other abilities. Some interesting synergy between abilities in that particular class. Anyway, before we get into any of them, we'll have a look at the settings menu. We got video settings could maybe have been implemented a little bit better, but I guess they're trying to stick true to the cyberpunk computer terminal format thing. So we've got increased video quality and decreased video quality, increased resolution and decreased resolution. That could have been done so much better than that, but the functionality's there, I guess, which is at least something. We've got other video options. We have VSync and screen space ambient occlusion, and then mostly just some kind of the visual effects that are more sort of personal preference, I guess. Vignettes. I couldn't actually tell what was going on when you turn vignette on and off. I'm not sure what the vignette does. Motion blur is motion blur. Only strange people like motion blur. Noise and grain adds a little bit of a noise and grain effect to make it a bit more grungy in cyberpunk, I suppose. And you've got your bloom and fog, and to be honest, fog doesn't come into play too much, to be honest. It's certainly not relevant to any of the gameplay at any rate. It's all just personal preference kind of things. Whether any of them would have a major performance impact, I suspect not. Maybe fog. That's possibly about it. Fog and bloom? Can't imagine noise out doing anything to you. Music is also, well, it's also pretty poorly implemented, to be honest. Yeah, music +1, music +5, music -1, music -5. Really? Give me a break. That could be done a lot better. To their credit, music and sound effects on separate sliders, at least good, but man, that could have been done so much better than that. Admittedly, once you get into the game and you go into the options menu, you get a different interface for it, which actually does have proper sliders, which is actually quite nice. But from the main menu here, it's all kind of weird. So I'm going to hop on my Railrunner, because that's what I've been doing. Excuse me. I will pick out a mission. I'll take Chapter 2. I'll do one of the early ones, Chapter 2. I mean, it's not... I will show you how the story is delivered, but I'll probably kind of skip through it, and you feel free not to pay too much attention if you don't want story spoilers. So you got 3 difficulties for each of them. Normal is normal. Hardwired, it kind of doubles the chance of really tough sort of elite enemies appearing. And I accidentally started a level on hardwired once and got my ass kicked repeatedly. And painless is just kind of, if you're really having trouble with stuff, it just kind of makes the game pretty easy. So normal mode is where we're at. So before each level, you got this visual novel kind of sort of story delivery system. It is a visual novel. Text appears on the screen, you click, and it reads through it. And eventually some characters will pop up, and they will talk to us. Unless I pick like the one level where characters don't pop up and talk to us. Yeah, they do. Here we go. There we go. So these guys will pop up. It's kind of a cool art style. I kind of dig it. I think there's only like a tiny handful of characters I actually bumped into so far, but it's a neat little world. I kind of like what they're doing. It's an interesting story so far. I kind of dig cyberpunk worlds. They're pretty cool. So this is our cyberpunk world. I'm going to skip that scene because you know what a visual novel looks like, and we'll get to the meat of things. That gives you a little bit of a taste of the sort of the visual style of the visual novel part of the thing, I guess. So this is the actual gameplay. This is top-down shooter. It's very, very, very reminiscent of Hotline Miami, actually. As I say, with a few elements of, I guess, Borderlands in here. So I've got enemies dotted around. They're going to be patrolling around. They're going to follow paths. We don't get any, like, they have cones of sight, but you don't get to see what they are or anything. You just kind of have to infer it from the routes that they're walking around and kind of keeping an eye on things. If I press space, I can move the camera so that I can, it kind of follows, the camera can sort of move to face it. It's kind of an awkward one, but it is useful. You will rely on it a lot. It's sometimes maybe a little clunkier than I might like it to be honest. So yeah, let's start by dispatching this guy in this room. I can't remember what weapons I've got equipped, so I'm going to bring this up first. We've got the old-fashioned, which is my rather nice shotgun I have. We've got a hailfire, which is the assault rifle, and a fast beam, which is a nice beam sort of energy kind of weapon. Futuristic space, pew pew pew, and cyberpunk and all that. We do get a grenade as well as a couple of just sort of passive stat boost kind of units that we can equip as well. So going with my shotgun, I guess. The shotgun's done in a weird kind of way, so this one holds like 16 rounds in the clip, but if you fire it, it fires them all. So when I reload, you'll see my ammunition down here, the H down here representing heavy ammunition. That went down by 16 because each shot fires all of the ammunition at once. So shotguns are crazy insofar as they're a really, really good way to burn through all of your ammunition in just a couple of shots. And some of the weapons, bizarrely enough, the sniper rifle, use the same ammunition. So if you're using a shotgun and a sniper, that's probably not going to end too well, because I was using that for a while and I found myself running out of sniper ammo really fast, because my shotgun was firing like 10 shots at a time. If I wanted to go to the beam fires, yeah, the beam fires one shot at a time, the hailfire fires one shot at a time, they just fire at a much faster rate. To be fair, I think effectively they're fairly similar weapons, to be honest, the assault rifle and the beam. But they do a very similar job in terms of gameplay. So you can see the bottom of the screen, alongside my weapons I have 3 abilities at my disposal. So let's equip ability 4, it's kind of my basic ability. That's going to consume 25 AP per use. AP regenerates over time, and you can take some perks to up that as well. Let's get this guy when he pops out. Oh no, oh god, I didn't die. I didn't die because I'm a little higher than this level, I think, but that was a poor demonstration, I guess. What I want to do is wait for this guy to walk past, and maybe I can lunge at him. Nope, he knows about me. Yeah, basically what that does is it teleports me to that person as long as there is a clear line of sight and a clear path to them, and immediately deals melee damage to them. Now, whether that's going to kill them or not is kind of related to whether you're a higher level than them or not, to be honest. I found very, very early on in the game where the early enemies are just like a couple levels higher than you maybe. You're intended to take them out with guns. Trying to use that ability will just get you shot in the face with a shotgun and insta-killed every time. These guys don't like me. I guess they can see through office cubicle walls somehow. I'm not sure how that works, but I guess offices aren't, you know, designed for privacy and isolation too much, really. You can get a good gist of what people can see over, because you can see where your lasers go and where the enemy's lasers go. If the laser doesn't go through a wall, enemies can't see you through it, generally speaking. If you get too close to them, they will probably hear you or notice you one way or another. You'll just sort of realise you're in the same room as them, and they will turn around and start shooting at you, so you can't just walk right up behind someone. You can see sort of there's debris on the floor that I can't get past, but I can fire, because my laser fires over it. They would be able to see me over that quite easily. So I've got ability number 5, basically puts out a decoy, which will open doors for me, and he'll draw the fire of enemies. So he's like, hey, he thinks that's me, basically. And now he's going to come investigate, and now I can shoot him. And that's level complete, because he was the last enemy. The objective of pretty much every level is just to kill all the dudes. There's a few ones where it's like, yeah, you gotta go press a switch as well, but for the most part it's just kill everybody. And then we can open boxes and loot all the things. Borderlands styley. There's like crates that you can find that flip open and they've got like weapons and stuff in. In fact, there's one over there. That's very Borderlands styley. It's just opening all these boxes and finding money and items and things, and then there's this. It's like, doo-doo-doo-doo. Hey, money and a grenade. I've seen that in a game somewhere before. I don't object to it. It's a neat little way to spice up what would otherwise just be, I guess, the Hotline Miami formula. Excuse me. I didn't even show you all my abilities. We've got 6 is, for this particular character, I can activate a speed boost, and that gives me plus 20%, in fact it's more than 20% with talent points, evasion. So when enemies shoot at me, I'll dodge quite a lot of their bullets and regenerate health when I do dodge the bullets. And yeah, didn't really deploy that in combat there, but hey. And then we got these guys. The Dealio units are basically shops, which also this interface looks very, very Borderlands-y. So we can just buy a bunch of stuff, or if I don't want the stuff I've got, I can sell them. 128 credits, don't want that. 214, I don't want that. Might as well get rid of that. And if there's something good in there's like a program core. That actually looks like a pretty good program core, and it's within my budget. I can buy that. Yep, I'll have one of those. Great. The item coloring system is the same as every game in existence ever. White is your common items, they're very, very mediocre. Green is a little bit better. Blue's kind of nice. They, for whatever reason, maybe just to be unique, decided to skip purple and just go straight to orange, and then orange are kind of the top-notch, crazy good ones. The ones that I'm running around with, like the old-fashioned, my shotgun here, it's a very, 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 very nice shotgun right now. So yeah, I got those. I got my new thing, so I should probably equip that. I've got my program cores. I got 5% crit, 8% critical damage, and 4% melee. I presume we're thinking that's an upgrade to that. 4% melee versus 6%... Oh, hang on. Which one is it an upgrade to? It said it was a straight upgrade over one of my pieces, but I don't think it's a straight upgrade over either of my pieces, is it? It's actually not. I have to make at least some trade out. Admittedly, this one is an older and less useful one, so I'll swap the blue out for the green. And then I might as well get rid of more of my old stuff, so 240 credits back in my bank there. Alright, we can head out the level. So, back out the way we came, I think is usually the way it goes. Also, very Hotline Miami. It borrows very, very heavily from the mechanics of other things, but I do think it iterates upon them as opposed to just outright stealing. It's not like we're just playing Cyberpunk Hotline Miami. It's Hotline Miami, but they've done something very different with the formula. I'm going to quit to the terminal here, so we don't need to see more of that visual novelness. So we've got a bunch of other stuff here to have a look at. We've got operations. Dealio World is a world full of robots that want to sell you things. They're wonderful things. This world, and it spawns, and it's full of boxes that you can open and loot stuff out of, and it refills every single time you come in here. So actually, it's if you're feeling a bit underleveled, it's basically just free stuff actually, which is maybe not the greatest game design in the world. I mean, additional to that, I will say that if you die, you don't lose anything. If you die on a level, you don't lose any money. If you pick up a bunch of money and then die, you don't lose that money that you acquired. You start the level again, and you keep that money. If you level up during a level but still die, you keep that experience. You just go into the level, a slightly higher level next time. So there's just this kind of permanent little power creep. It's like when you're underpowered in a level and you're struggling with something, there's just, as long as you've got the ability to kill someone or loot something, and you nearly always do, you're just going to be slowly getting a little bit more powerful. So in that respect, I would say it almost feels like it's probably impossible to lose this game if you're persistent enough. Admittedly, I don't think many people are going to be really struggling with it to such an extent that you need to grind the game to death. But yeah, it kind of almost strips a little bit of the challenge out of it, and maybe that's not going to appeal to anyone. The idea that it's like, well, if I invest more time, I will beat it. I don't know, I can kind of appreciate that, because I, for one, remember being really stuck on Hotline Miami, and really being frustrated and super salty at Hotline Miami for that. So it's nice to be able to, you know, it's like, alright, I'll just go buy a better gun and come back and do this level better. So that's quite a nice sidearm. Is that within my budget? It is not. That's a shame. Well, that's 8% crit, 8% dodge. Let me check my current one, because I thought I had a... ooh, that's pretty nice. It could be a nice upgrade over that. Could be. It is a level 16 program core, so... Oh, I don't have the money for it anyway. Oh well, never mind. We've also got these blue guys who will reset all of our talents for 25% of all of our money, which I think is also not dissimilar to how Borderlands did it. I'm not going to do that, so I will, however, show you the talent system. Just excuse me, I'm not a well man at the moment. So we've got 2 talent trees for each class. The Rail Runner has this Infiltrator and Metrojack talent tree. I've been putting all my points into Infiltrator thus far. So your first couple of talent trees are kind of not terribly interesting. So you got Dodge Chance there, yeah, a little bit bland. One of your abilities, my Decoy, basically has a bit more health. Your AP regen's a little bit faster. Some of these are kind of bland. Mercifully, they're not all totally bland. There is at least some interesting stuff in the talent trees. 15% bonus damage whilst your Ghost Process, your Decoy is active. That's kind of cool. And whilst you're overclocked, the little boost to my speed and dodge and whatnot, yeah, I get 5% more dodge during overclock, and dodging restores some health, which is actually kind of cool. I kind of like that. On Metrojack, we see we've got a couple of interesting ones. So killing enemies restores health. Yeah, I would like that, by the way. We've got shooting increases melee damage by 25%, and terminate velocity, which is the little teleport and melee kind of thing, increases gun damage by 25% for 5 seconds. So it kind of got an interesting little sort of incentive to mix up your strategies there. Shooting improves melee, and then melee improves shooting. That's kind of an interesting one. And honestly, actually, I feel like maybe I should reset my talents at some point and go the melee route, because I found myself quite relying on the terminal velocity thing quite a lot, because I'd rather have that in my talent tree, you know. Executioner, a bunch of melee damage, plus killing restores health, and oh, this is the good one, yeah, terminate velocity range. A lot of this Metrojack seems to be built around extensively using my not that one, yeah, that one. The one with the axe. That's the one. So, yeah, I might respec this character. And as I say, it's just a cost of your money, and in the same way that Borderlands did it, if you want to respec, what you do is you spend all your money on really cool upgrades at the shop, and then respec because it costs you less, which, again, is like... that doesn't seem like that's a well-thought-out game mechanic, because, yeah, it's so exploitable. It's like, all I have to do is just buy a load of stuff, and suddenly respecking becomes cheaper? Huh, how strange. Operations, we've got upgrade the amount of ammo capacity for each of the weapons, each of the different ones. So we've got light, heavy, and energy are the 3 ammo types. We can upgrade the amount of ammo we can hold for each of them by picking up the Delio coins. Delio coins just being a rare currency you can sometimes find in boxes. And you will sometimes, I think you usually get from an elite enemy if you can kill them. They are a bit tougher than the standard enemies, though. The way they spawn is kind of random, and obviously they just spawn more frequently on harder difficulties. So if you want to farm them, I guess you want to be playing on hard difficulty and just go murder a bunch of elite enemies and go collect your coins from those guys. I've got some mesh bombs as well as basically my grenades. I honestly have just not found myself using grenades a lot because... they don't seem... maybe I'm using them wrong? I don't know. They don't feel like an effective way to kill enemies to me. Maybe I just don't have a very good grenade. I'm not sure. Either way, the only time I've ever found grenades to be remotely useful is when I managed to, you know, land a direct hit on an enemy. And when you're doing that, chances are they've seen you and are already shooting at you and dealing a lot of damage at you. And by the time your grenade hits them, oh dear, you're dead. It's a very quick time to kill in this game, so time where your grenade is lazily arcing through the air towards the enemy is time where you're getting shot in the face, and that's not great. Stats and mastery, stats is, well, that's stats is stats. That tells you all things about my particular rail runner. And mastery is basically your level of experience with weapons. As you use weapons, they will level up. It's been a long time since I played it. Was that a thing in Borderlands? It might have been. I'm not sure. But for each level with each weapon, you gain a damage bonus. And it does just seem to be that one level in any weapon increases damage by 2%. With all weapons, which is perhaps not how Borderlands did it, I suppose, but there you go. This includes melee damage as well, actually, so if you level up your pistol by 1 level, your melee gets 2% better. If you level up your SMG, your melee gets 2% better, and your rifle gets 2% better, etc., etc. It's a strange way of doing it, but okay, it works, I suppose. I can dig it. That is mostly it, to be fair. I guess if I hop on out, we can have a look at one of the... well, let's have a look at the Ascended. I mean, to be fair, as I say, I've not really delved into this to any great extent. I have the sewers, which we will go in on normal difficulty. I played enough of this to have a look at the classes. So we'll skip this. Skip the scene. There is an option to skip the scene each time you go into a level. I'm just really bad at remembering to click that. I haven't remembered to do that once yet, I don't think, actually. So a little bit of tutorial here, because I still haven't got very far into the game. But yeah, we have abilities. So I need to refresh myself with this one. So, deal melee damage in a small area around a visible enemy, moderate range, awards 1 ascension stack, which stacks up to 10. We can create a barrier in front of you that blocks bullets, which lasts 6 seconds, and that awards 1 ascension stack. And then we can consume the ascension stacks with ability 5, which restores our AP and gives us bonus damage for 6 seconds, based on how many stacks we've got. So presumably, I imagine this could be changed with talents a little bit. I've not looked too heavily at the talent trees on this, but I would imagine there'd be a way to improve that. But by default, I guess that's a potential maximum of 30% bonus damage. So let's hop on in. Let's have a look and see what we've got going on. Let's open a box for starters. What have we got? Enemies up ahead. There's one guy there. Yep, P opens the intel menu. Thank you for that. Tutorial. I want to try and use my ability here. Pow! That didn't work. Yeah, the time to kill, as I say early on, is it's better as you level up and you've got more health and you can at least take a few bullets. But early on, if an enemy sees you and shoots you and hits you, you're probably dead. I have 5 HP. 5. It's not going to end well. What I could do, I suppose, is pop a shield down. Maybe. Oh, the shield's there. Oh, I hadn't really used this, so I didn't realize it kind of floated over my shoulder. That seems like a really bad place to put it, because that... I don't know. I don't know how I would deal with that. I can sprint up to him and hit him. No melee attacks going on. Maybe I should just shoot this guy. Maybe my newbie abilities are not good enough. Maybe what I need to do is just put a bullet in this guy's back. That's probably the more effective strategy at this early stage in the game. So we can open that door. That will allow us through to a room with a dude over there who's also got his back to the wall. I guess he wants shooting in the back. There we go. Yeah, there's very little incentive to use those abilities early on. Despite this being the level where they're like, hey, maybe you should use your abilities. My abilities are getting me killed, quite frankly. So we can open those terminals. There's occasional these little sort of press the button puzzles going on, but this can scarcely be called a puzzle. Oh, that guy might see me. Where's he patrolling? Can rotate the camera with, I think it's X and C. No, C changes the camera to kind of this over-the-shoulder perspective, which is not terribly useful. I've never found that one a thing that I wanted to use, but Z and X allow you to rotate the camera, which sometimes you might want to do. Like, okay, well, if we're heading this way, maybe I want this to be up ahead. I'm not sure. To be fair, given that it's given I've got more field of view at the side than above, maybe, to be fair, I actually want to be sideways. Who knows? Oh, there's a talents menu. Thank you for that. Now I'm going to get myself killed because that guy... Oh, God. Yep. He's going to kill me. No, I'm dead. There we go. That's newbies for you. Anyway, I'm going to quit that level. What I could do is I could keep killing guys until I level up. That would be a good way to improve that level. Yeah. That's the thing I could do. Anyway, I'm kind of enjoying this. I kind of want to actually play this through. I want to finish this game. I don't often say that, and I don't often do that either. I do think I want to actually finish Defragmented, though, which is definitely a rarity. At any rate, it is available on, I believe, this Friday, the 12th of February 2016. It will be available for $14.99, or regional equivalent on Steam. I personally will heartily recommend it. I think this is a great game. I think you should check this out. It's... You know, I don't think any of the mechanics in and of themselves are particularly original, but I think the way they've implemented them together definitely creates this pretty unique experience. And for what it's worth, I'm really digging the soundtrack as well. The soundtrack to this thing complements the whole thing really nicely. It's such a good soundtrack. I think they got a lot of the artists from a lot of other cyberpunk-styled games. There's like Far Cry, Blood Dragon, and... actually, to be fair, there's actually a Hotline Miami, some Hotline Miami artists in there as well, actually. So, yeah. It's all good, I'm enjoying the soundtrack a lot. Yep, that is Defragmented. I will recommend it to you. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Meroka. I'll see you next time.